Hello again everybody, welcome back to Will This Magic. My name is Will. I hope you're all having a magical day today. Now before I get into today's video, I just want to say that we are keeping the 2K giveaway open for a couple more days depending on when I'm recording the winners of, well, next video when I'm going to announce it. But it is going to be open for a few more days, so if you haven't watched last week's video, go and do that right now and then come back to this one because you do really want to enter that giveaway. I will tell you that the prizes are going to be good. Now with that said, I've got a great self-working card trick for you guys today. I got a comment on one of my videos that I move my hands around too much. I'm going to try to keep them as still as possible. It was quite funny because I never thought about it, but then I watched the videos and I do actually move them around a bit, so I'm going to try to keep them as still as possible when I'm not using them. If you do like this video, please show it by hitting the like button, comment on what you guys want to see next, and as always, if you're new to the channel or if it's the first time you're seeing me, hit that subscribe button and turn those notifications on. But without further ado, let's get into the performance of this self-working card trick. So for this trick, guys, all I need is a deck of cards. I'm using the red monarchs for today's trick, and then I'm going to go ahead and give the cards a quick little shuffle. Now, usually I would have a spectator sitting in front of me or performing to somebody, but since nobody's here, I'm going to do this by myself. Sadly but true. So I'm going to have you split the deck wherever you like. Now, let's say you just cut the decks right there, and then I'd have you deal out cards as many as you wanted. So I'll show you an example. So I might deal down like 3, 6, 9, 10, like 12. You can deal down however many you want. So let's say you deal down maybe that many cards, and then I'm gonna deal down a couple more. So I'm just gonna do like that. The point is that we're not gonna have the same amount of cards in our decks. Now it's important because for the next part, I'm gonna show you my skills. Now the skills is that I can feel in each pile that you pick off how many cards you've actually had in your pile. Now I'm gonna do this in a way that is gonna seem impossible, but I'm gonna show you that it's actually possible. So if you would pick up both these piles, you'll feel that there's a weight difference to them, right? And then, you know, a playing card doesn't weigh that much, but you can actually feel the difference. If there are maybe 48 cards in this pile and 28 in this pile, you'll feel the difference. Or if it's 15 and 14, you'll know the difference, all right? Now, let's just say that you had these cards, and then I'll have you pick them up. You probably couldn't tell me how many cards were in each pile. Now, that is what I'm going to show you right now, because that is my skill. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you pick out a small amount of cards from the top. Now, however many you like, but preferably less than half and maybe a smaller amount than that. And then put them to the side or in your pocket or somewhere where I cannot physically touch them without you having me. No, forget about that. I cannot physically touch them, all right? So let's say you pick up maybe that amount of cards. We're going to put them right there. And then I'm going to take the rest of the deck here, and I'm going to grab a feel for it, and then see if I can get kind of a sense of how many cards are missing from the deck. Now, I'm going to feel that, let's see how many we can get going from the start. We can probably have somewhere, is that too many? I don't know. Don't want to get a refill for this maybe. Let's see. You know what? I feel that might be too little. Let's do. Is that better? Let's add those two as well. All right. I think we have something going here. Now, if I get a feel for the whole thing again. Yeah, no. This is way too many. Now I'm gonna have to remove a couple cards. So let's just see where we could end up here. Now we're getting extremely close here. I'm gonna say that we remove one more card, and that should be, yep, this is my final guess. All right, I'm gonna lock those cards in. I'm gonna take these away. I'm gonna place that there. So this is my guess on how many cards you picked out from the start. It might seem impossible, I know, but if you pick out your selected pile of cards from wherever you have them, and we'll put them next to each other. All right, now I'm going to deal off a single card from each pile, and hopefully they should match. Now remember that we had a shuffle deck of cards. You had to pick up any amount of cards you like from the top. It's total free choice. You could have picked one card less or one card more. And I had to feel the weight, the physical weight of the deck that was left and figure out how many cards were there. It sounds impossible, but if we start peeling them down, we got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and both decks, it's got 10 cards. Now, that was the trick, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Now let's get into the tutorial of this trick. So guys, I'm gonna be honest, I saw this trick and I'm not the biggest fan of it because it requires you to do a lot of counting while you're speaking, and I personally have a big problem with that. I cannot multitask and do counting in my head while I'm speaking to spectators. But if you are good at multitasking those two things, this trick is perfect because you're gonna do a silent count while you're speaking to the audience about things that are happening, and the better you can do it, the better you can perform this trick. This is not my greatest performance, I'll tell you that straight away, but I'm throwing it out there to you guys because I know a lot of people don't have a problem with it and they can perform this trick a lot better than I do. So the secret number in this trick is going to be 20. Now the reason why we're using 20 is because it is close to halfway in the deck, but it also gives us a lot of space to work with. Now I'm going to get into what I mean by that in the tutorial part later on, but for now all you need is a deck of cards. You're going to use it to shuffle them up a bit, and then you're going to tell the audience to split the deck wherever they like into 2 piles. Now right from the start, you want to count down 20 cards in a single pile. Now you're going to try to explain as you're doing this that, all right, so we're going to do a little of a guessing game where you weigh the cards in your hands when you've dealt them out, and you're going to try to figure out how many cards are in your hand. So I like to start by doing maybe 5, and then you can do 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Just a random amount of cards. You tell the spectator to do the same thing. Now here's the best part. If you got a spectator and you're doing this, you can do it simultaneously. So at the same time as the spectator is dealing down his or her cards, you're doing the same thing, counting these cards to 20. Now as you see in my performance, I go back and forth because if I'm counting down these cards first, then I'm going to count these cards. It's not as fluent if you're doing it solo as if you have a spectator in front of you. So the point is that you want to have 20 cards in your deck. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. And then however many cards the spectator decides to deal down, it's unimportant right now. So let's just stop right there. Scatter these up. And then you would ask the spectator to pick up any of these piles. And you tell them to try and guess how many cards are in it. Now, if you like to, you can have them pick out their own pile and count down the cards, or even yours as well in 20. But have them pick up their own pile and ask them, how many cards do you think is in your pile? And then they can actually count them down and see if they were right or wrong. I did not count those now. I don't know why I did it. But they can give it a practice to see how hard it actually is. Now, what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to take a peek at the bottom card of your pile that's got 20 cards in it. This Jack of Hearts is going to be your key card for the whole performance. So what you're going to do here is that you want to place the Jack of Hearts in the 20th position from the top. So this 20 pile is going to go on top of all the other cards. Now once you're here, you're going to ask the spectator to pick off any amount of cards from the top, but preferably a small chunk. All right, so they don't want to go past that 20, which should be around right maybe here. Hopefully, maybe where is the Jack of, where are, there's the Jack. So they don't want to go past the 20 cards. They can go 19 or less, but not 20. Otherwise, this trick is not going to work. So tell them to lift off a small chunk of cards from the top. Let's say they go right there. This is a total free choice. You have no idea how many cards this is. They can put it in their pocket. They can put it somewhere else as long as you don't see these cards. You don't touch these cards until the end of the trick, right? So you tell them to place those cards away and you grab the rest of the deck and you say, all right, so now I'm going to try to figure out how many cards you picked off. But the way I'm going to do is I'm going to weigh the rest of the cards in my hand. Now this is going to make it 100 times harder because I can't actually feel your cards. I got to feel the rest of the cards, right? So what you're going to do now is that you're going to start dealing down cards as if you were to replicate their pile. But what you're actually doing is counting down 20 cards straight away. So that's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. All right? And then you're going to take the rest of those cards and just place them away. I can place them right here because I need them for the rest of the trick. And then you're going to take these cards and you're going to try and start weighing them. Now this is the part where I said that if you're good at speaking and counting silently in your head at the same time, this will look a lot more natural when you're dealing down 20 cards than what it did for me in the performance, because I constantly have to think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 while I'm counting them. I can't really do it in silence in my head. And I know it's a huge problem, but it doesn't work for me. But once you got to 20 cards, your key card will probably be in this deck somewhere if you've done this right. So you're going to flip the deck over, and then what you're essentially doing is peeling off cards until you see your key card. And the key card is going to be the last card you peel off before you compare the deck. Sorry about that. So you're going to start by weighing it, and then you're going to say, you know what, this is way too heavy. I'm going to get rid of a couple cards. And then you'll kind of get a sense of where your key card is. So you can spread out the cards bit just to see it, and you can get a feel. So, all right, you know what, I'm going to take out a couple more. I think we're extremely close now, so I'm going to take that one as well. And then, you know what, I'm going to pick off the last card as well, and that is your key card. Now, when you've dealt down your key card, you're good to go. So these amount of cards will always equal the spectator's chosen amount of cards. And then I like to just, either if they want to hold their card and then you deal them down simultaneously like this, or if they like to count their cards first and then you do it afterwards. However you want to do it is fine, but as long as you show that it's the same amount of cards in the end, you'll be good to go. So that was the trick, guys, and the performance of the trick. I know it is not my best performance, but as I said, I have a hard time doing this in my head, and I know a lot of you people don't, because you're a lot better magicians than what I am. So I feel like you all will be able to perform this trick without any problems at all. Now, as I said in the beginning of this video, the giveaway is still on for a few more days. I would appreciate it if you shared it with all your friends, because in such a big giveaway, I don't want to have, I think we're at like 16 entries right now, or even that. And then we're probably going to give away 25% of those prizes. So if you don't want competition, that's fine. But in a long perspective, if this channel is going to grow the way we're set out to grow in this Magic community, we need people engaging in the content. So whenever I'm posting a giveaway, I would appreciate it a lot if you all just share it with all your friends so we can get the word out there. And then for those who have been loyal from the start, you know who you are. I'll always have your back in future giveaways and all of that, and there will be a special thing coming up hopefully soon where I give you a bit more special treatment for those who've been following for a long time. Just putting it out there so that you guys know what to expect, but I'm super thankful for everything that has happened so far. And as I said, if you haven't watched last week's video, go and check it out right now as soon as this video is over. I hope you liked this video. If you did, show by hitting the like button. Comment on what you guys want to see next. I would be very thankful if you guys sent in tricks that you want to see in the future. I know a few people have done it before, and I'm still trying to figure out how I'm going to perform those. So send in tricks if you have any that you would like me to perform specifically. If you're new to the channel, or if it's the first time you're seeing me, hit the subscribe button and turn notifications on. I wish you all a magical day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.